Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? I'm your host, Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day that the markets are open from 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. I hope you are all having a fantastic day today. What's going on? How's it going, everybody? First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for always coming and asking questions. And thank you for being a part of the Verified Investing community. If I could, I would ask you guys to please give us a like and subscription. And if you like this content, share it, right? If you share this content, it helps us know, helps me know, and helps my overlords know that you enjoy this show. And it also means that they're not going to get rid of me. So if you want to make sure that I am not kicked off, please share and like and subscribe. Anyways, guys, so the way this works is you can ask your questions right here by scanning this QR code. That's the Verified AMA. Go ahead and scan that QR code and ask your questions. You can also ask your questions exclusively from visiting the verifiedinvesting.com website. In the top right-hand corner, you're going to see it say watch and ask. So you can watch and ask questions. So what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? Oof. Okay, I see some questions coming in. Let me open my charts. I had a bowl for lunch, and my bowl had some steak in it, a green bean steak, and some rice. My steak was really dry. It sucked. I really regret it. I felt like I was chewing on cardboard. But anyways, Dean says, great service, Lawton. Thank you so much. Dean says, time to get into the soup. What soup? Oh, Campbell's. The Campbell's. See if you go along Campbell's. Time to get into the soup. Yeah, potentially. So if we take a look at Campbell, this is a very well-known company, household name. Is trading towards the lower end of the charts, right? The last time you saw price action here was over 10 years ago. Let's take a look closer and see if we can find any levels on the Campbell's company chicken noodle soup. I have this down sloping trend line here that would be really bullish if it was able to break above it. Let's see if we have any parallels on this. Ooh, okay, look at that. Beautiful parallel. Briefly broke, but pushed back into it right away. So I do actually really like this parallel, this downsloping parallel channel. This is what I'm eyeing on Campbell's, right? Now, I'm actually going to turn this into a teachable moment. So this is just about the earliest teachable moment I've ever done. The first question of the day. But when you're trading a downsloping parallel channel or upsloping, doesn't matter, you can play it a couple ways. You know that you're likely to get a bounce from the lower trend line, so you can enter along on that trend line with a targeted move, either one of two places. Now, this is really important, guys. When you're looking to exit, you can either exit at the midline of that parallel or at the top of the parallel. But here, the midline is about 11% higher. Wow, incredible. About 12 to 11% higher. 11 to 12% higher. Incredible. Additionally, pushing up higher, that would be another additional 11% from the midline. So for Campbell's company, I would go long either. I'd look for a retrace to this, or if you want, to be honest, I mean, this looks like a great level. They do have earnings in 30 days, so it's important to remember that. Reputable dividend-paying stock, I like it a lot. you can enter right here on this midline, and you can add, and you can look for an ad. Oops. You can look for an ad right down here at the lower end of this parallel channel. And if you're saying, okay, I want to have a stop loss as well, enter here, add here, and stop out on confirmation or a close below this downsloping parallel channel with the move to the upside. If it breaks it, it's likely going up like 30%. I like this trade a lot, Campbell's company. I like it. Yes, Dean. Tony says, what are the ways to purchase Tron? The ways to purchase Tron? Or are you talking about the crypto? What do you mean by purchase Tron? There's a stock ticker here, but I wouldn't trade this. It's a small company. Tony says, is there a cost to use Clofin? Is there a cost to use Blofin, and also what is the cost? Blofin is free to use. However, whenever you make a transaction, there's a fee associated with it for every trade you make transaction. If you use leverage, there's more fees as well. But in all likelihood, those fees should be inconsequential because you just add that into your target, right? If you're looking for like a 10, 15, even 5% move, like the fees aren't going to affect you at all. I believe it's a flat fee. Nathan says Bitcoin, yep, is still in this, wedge pattern. And it's looking more and more as if the bearish pattern set up by the topping tail is fading. I'm shorting using Biddy, also wondering if I should get out. Do we still think Bitcoin is going to fall significant? I'm still bearish on Bitcoin. Had this nice downsloping trend line, upsloping trend line break. I still think this is likely coming lower. I'd target at least down here around 110. Pat says, good afternoon. What's up, Pat? How's it going? Would appreciate you taking a look at NLY. Absolutely. Would be happy to. NLY Capital for an entry point. Thank you for all you do for us. Absolutely no problem. So you're looking for a long or a short, and I've looked at this previously. I have these nice downsloping trend lines. My entry point would be here around $20. Would be here around $20. And I look for a break above this. If you can break above these trend lines, you're at least going to above $22, right? Something you could do is enter right here along here and then stop out here. Say your stop out level is $20. A pierce of $20 would be your stop out. So you're risking under 4%, and you're looking to get 6.5% gain. I mean, that's an okay risk to reward ratio. That's a 1 to 1.5%, 1 to 1.5 a risk to reward ratio. So that's something you can certainly consider, Pat. But if I had to look at this chart, I think it looks bullish. I would say it favors a move to the upside. Renica says, yay for SOXS, Lawton. Yeah, I mean, SOXS, I did trade it earlier. So, yeah, got that trade in. Happy with that trade. And it's green for the day. So, I like that. I think my entry was somewhere around here. My average was around 796. And it went all the way to 735. Jessica says, what's a good level to take profit on a VXX trade? For profit, probably around $45. Nathan says, good afternoon, Lawton. What's up, Nathan? Hope you're doing well. Do you think IQ is at the IQ stock is at a good buying level? For me, IQ, I do like it. One thing you can consider is a retrace to this downsloping trend line that was the catalyst for the initial break, right? So you can look for a buy somewhere around here, around 12 cents low, around $1.77. Mountain Cole says, good afternoon, Lawton. What's up, Mountain Cole? Please check. Okay, let me check this. Let me check your chart out. Okay, so this is on Cake. Nice. I like that upsloping trend line. This is on the. I'm tired today. Tired every day. Let's draw this. Your trend line is kind of like this, right? This is your trend line, which I like. I mean, it's fine that it pierced. What I see initially is kind of like a wedge it broke out of. Or you have a beautiful kind of wedge that it broke up and out of. You see that this wedge is valid because it hit here and it pulled back here, kissed it, and then finally when it did break, tried to retrace but pushed higher. For me, I'd be a buyer on Cake on a retrace to this around $2.42, $2.43 on Cake. That's where I'd look for a re-entry for a long. All right. Clint says, thank you, Lawton, for hosting Verified AMA and your great analysis. Of course. Thanks for coming in every single day, Clint, and asking your questions. Thanks to all of you out there. Without you guys, I would be doing nothing right now. I'd be eating or watching a YouTube video on my phone or something. I don't know. XYZ, yes. Is the gap window resistance, or is it likely to fill the gap? As earnings in 9 days, right? So I don't think it's going to do anything. To be honest, I think it's going to chill until earnings. But look at this. Downsloping trend line. Nice gap. Pulled back off of it. Finally broke above and now retraced to this trend line. So it would favor a move higher, a bounce off of this trend line. For me, not interested. 9 days earnings. I'll wait until after earnings for a move. Keaton says, hi, how are you? What's up, Keaton? What's your average for swing SOXS? 794. Tron, the crypto, Tony says. Tron USDT, I don't see. Oh, TRX. Yeah. Yeah, TRX. How do I buy? You can buy on any exchange, but if you're asking where should you buy, you've gone on quite a run, right? Since the lows in June. You got up like 35%. You did have a minor pullback here around 9%, but since then, move up 16%. For me, I'd likely look for an entry on a buy somewhere around here. This level seems good, around the 30-cent level. Seems like quite a good potential entry there. But if you want a longer term entry, I'd be comfortable here around the 26-cent region. Michael says, hey, Lon, what's up? Looking for a long. Do you think it's a retrace to the scene of the crime? Let's take a look at your chart. It could be on Fartcoin, yeah. So stupid. This coin is so stupid, but yeah. Let's see. Like something like this, right? I don't really like it that much, to be honest. You had this nice upsloping trend line that it did break, right? I like this line better. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, and then now it's breaking below. For me, support likely to be right here. I like this level for support. It's getting close though. This is also a pretty good level for support, so about 3 and 14% lower. If it comes all the way down here to its June lows, this is a pretty good level, around 79 cents. Wes says, what's up, Lawton? Thank you for all your insight. I know you mentioned your sell level for IQ. It's about 213. Yes. It's like 219-ish. But it's trending down lately. What your support levels to add? I'd add to this, again, somewhere around here, around 177 on IQ Wes. Keaton says, how's IQ for a 5-year hold? Looking for a 10x? Yeah, I think this thing could go insane. You have to think about it. It's like Chinese Netflix, right? And like my mom, right? Because I'm Chinese. My mom lives over there in Hong Kong. She uses this like every day. If my mom is using it every day, and people in China, like, are starting to watch a bunch of these shows, like, I don't know why the valuation is so low at 1.8 billion, right? If we just look at Netflix alone, right? I mean, to be fair, Netflix is a global company, right? But is it 500 times as valuable as IQ? Or should it be? That's the better question. I don't think so, right? And then that begs the question: is that because IQ is undervalued or Netflix is overvalued? The truth is, it could be a little bit of both. But I think that I think this IQ is a great long-term play. Gene says, hey, Lawton, what's up? Could you check Micron Technology and Baba? Sure, MU. MU is kind of flat. I had the support line here. Let's I haven't charted this in quite a while. Let's go ahead and do that. For me, major support, scalp fill, additional one down here. So for me on MU, 7%, 8% lower, 103. And additionally down here, 15% lower at 94.5. Would be some 2 good levels for me to buy MU. Looking for a bounce. However, if I'm looking at Alibaba, look at this. I had this nice down sloping trend line, broke up. I'm looking for a buy on Alibaba right here, anywhere around here, 117 to 116. That's my entry. Looking for a move higher, a retrace to this down sloping trend line. For those of you just joining me, welcome. My name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. I do this every single day. I go live from 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. So we're about 20 minutes in. So I'm going to be live for another 27 more minutes. So if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Go ahead and drop them on by scanning that QR code or visiting the verifiedinvesting.com website. And click that watch and ask in the top right-hand corner of your screen to ask your questions. Again, we would really, really appreciate it if you could like this and give us a follow on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us in the algorithm, and it helps us know that you enjoy this service, right? And it helps Gareth and everyone know that I'm contributing and valuable. And this show is valuable and worth investing in. So anyways, let's go to the next question. Marcus says, I want to trade commodities via options. Does the option services include ETFs for commodities? It can, but there's no like focus on that. Like, let me look at our open positions right now in options. I see like one out of all of Garrett's options, and he has a bunch of trades in here. I see one of them. Only one of them is in commodities. It's a trade on uranium. So Christopher says, what's up, Lon? What's up? Christopher, do you guys still do one-on-one lessons? I took Drew's overnight trader, and if I need a clear understanding for some of the things he taught us to help questions, are you guys offering those sessions? Thanks for all you guys do. I'm not. We don't officially do on Verified Investing, but if you send him a message on Twitter, you can arrange a private message, probably a private session somehow, potentially. I know some people have messaged me for individual one-on-one trainings and lessons. So I think that's something that we could do privately. Gunnar says, hi, Lawton. What's up, Gunnar? Thanks for doing this. You guys always say you want volatility. Yep. What has more volatility than crypto? Why don't you focus more on crypto? We do focus on crypto a lot. But believe it or not, crypto is kind of quiet as well, right? Like, let's take a look at let's look at day trading XRP, right? Like, how can we trade this? How can we day trade this? There's no clear levels that it hit, yet the spread is so wide, right? About 4% from the top to the bottom. That's actually not that big, right? Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's see how volatile it is. From the top, if you shorted at the top all the way to the bottom, you could have made a maximum of 2%. Not that volatile. Pengu might be a little different. If you shorted at the top to the bottom, you could have made a hefty penny around 10 over 10%. So it's kind of hard, right? We do have an entire service dedicated just to cryptocurrency, but we'll trade it all. Anything with a chart. Sarah says, how are you, Lawton? What's up, Sarah? I'm good. How are you? Is this valid XLM head and shoulders? What signals to watch for the best setup to buy XLM? Let me take a look at your chart here, Sarah. Thanks for sending that. Your chart isn't working. Can you try sending that again, Sarah? I copied and pasted it into my browser and nothing's pulling up. Let me try again. Hold on. Yeah, I don't have anything, Sarah. But XLM, what signals to watch to buy? Again, I think this is actually bearish for XLM. Looks pretty bearish to me. I'd favor a move down to at least here. At least 30 cents would be my target. Sarah says, is this a valid? Oh, you sent two. Sorry. Let me see. That's why I copied the whole thing. Let me see this. Yeah, this head and shoulders. Yes, it is valid. Let me check the other one that you sent. It's only valid if the head is higher than the left shoulder, right? So you could say something like this would be a valid head and shoulders pattern because this head is higher than the left shoulder. The head has to be higher than either shoulders for it to be valid, okay? See what else we got. Tony says, thank you for your answer. Appreciate everything you're doing. Yeah, no problem, Tony. Thanks for asking your questions. I appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate your question. Luis says, Lawton, thanks for doing the show. Absolutely, Luis, my pleasure. It's fun for me, and it's also an honor to be able to do this for you guys. Can you let us know what trades you are considering? Also, do you mainly do day trades or do swings? I do both swing trades and day trades, but right now I'm focusing on day trading for the most part. I have a couple long positions, particularly my most prominent one is SOXS. I'm in this stock long. My average is around $7.94. But yeah, I'm currently long SOXS. Okay. Renica says, please take a look at CHTR, Charter Communications. Do you see it dipping or bouncing? It's a great question. Let's see its price action today. The lowest it got was just under 286. Let's find some support, shall we? Pivot low, 282 could provide some support. It's so beaten down. Like it definitely favors a bounce, but the question is where, right? For now, these are the levels of support I have on Charter Communications. Of course, whenever I'm doing this, you can always pause or rewatch it on YouTube afterwards. 2% lower, 7% lower, and around 18% lower. That's where I see support. I mean, you should be into support right now. You should be reaching some support right now in this 286 to 288 range. But just because something should do something doesn't mean it has to. Okay. Amit says a lot of altcoins like TAO-SUI are printing bearish engulfing candles. Charts are breaking downwards. Do you think altcoin season is coming to the end, or do you think it's gearing up for another leg higher? I think Bitcoin favors a move down, and I think everything is coming down with it in crypto. Even if it's just a short-term drop, but I expect a pullback. I was bullish on crypto like 3 weeks ago, and now I'm bearish. So it fluctuates, my perspective. And again, like I say this all the time, I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. And I'm going to be wrong again. Keaton says, private message for me too, Lon. Send you an X message Tuesday. All right, man. I'll check my my Twitter DMs after this. It says, do you see a good entry and possible exit swing for APLD? The stock has been quite a bit down during the last couple trading days. Not financial advice. Thank you, Lon, of course. Yeah, it's coming down. Okay. No, I don't have any levels to you. Do you know why, Ed? As soon as I got to this screen, something shot out and blasted me in the eyes that I could not ignore. So I can't give you an entry and an exit. Do you know why? You take a wild guess? Can anyone in the chat understand why, just looking at this screen, looking at this entire screen, why I would not give levels to trade it for an entry right now? I can give you levels, but why do you think I wouldn't trade it? Let's see if you guys know. Keaton says pump and dump. Not necessarily. Come on, guys. You know this. All right. That's right. That's right. It's because it has earnings tomorrow. So that means, what does that mean? That means that this thing is a coin flip, right? It's just, you're gambling, right? Whether it's going to go up or down, it's, your best guess is as good as mine. Did move up significantly. You're talking about a move up 300%, but pulled back off this nice upsloping trend line, down 41%, pushed back up 36%, and now it's falling and breaking this upsloping trend line. What does that mean? That means this is bearish, favoring a move lower. However, it has earnings tomorrow. It could have great earnings, and it just blows it out of the water. So here's what I'm going to do. And I do this every single time, guys. This is how I find levels for earnings. And I like to make this real simple for you, okay? You check out the earnings. How much does it move on average on earnings? 14%. There. Let's see how much it moved here. Where was this? Oh, here. 14%, 23%. Didn't really move here. Let's check here. Didn't really move too much here. Let's check here. Didn't move too much. So we're looking at a range between 6 and 18%, right? That would put us kind of like within 12%-ish for a move down or up. But that's a lot of risk to take on, something that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm going to find levels roughly around that range. You have a gap window here at $18, 18% lower, around $8.25. If you want to go more conservative, you can wait for this gap fill, but that's 33% lower for an entry. I'm not going to touch this going into earnings. I'll wait for the move and then touch it afterwards. 1223, some resistance up there, but you're talking over 20% higher. But I am not going to touch anything into earnings, Ed. How about this? I'll make you a deal. Remember APLD, you can screenshot these levels, right? And come back after earnings and ask me the same question, and I promise you I'll give you some levels for entries and exits. Marcus says, does commodity, service trade, ETFs, futures, or both? Both of them, Marcus. But I hope that makes sense, Ed. See what other questions you guys have. Wes says, does VI have a course on options? One thing, as a relatively new investor that I only go long, I never go short because I don't know how, and it seems a little scary to be honest. But so many plays that are talked about are shorting examples. All 3 trades of the week by Gareth are shorts. So some of the services I utilize with VI I can't take advantage of yet. Yeah, no, I definitely understand. Shorting is scary. You're not alone in that. We don't currently have a course on options. That is something we're looking to potentially to implement, to create. But let me take a look at Gareth's trade of the week. So there are ways to play some of these things without shorting, right? So let's say NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA, let's say you want to short NVIDIA. Instead of shorting, you can just buy NVDS, right? NVDS. And what is that? NVDS is an inverse ETF of NVIDIA. So as NVIDIA comes down, NVDS goes up. So you're shorting it by buying the ETF and not risking using margin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's something you can consider, Wes. Let's see. Aaron says, hey, Lon, what's up? Can you chart Crypto Omni? Absolutely. Omni looks to be breaking out of a wedge. Oh, is it now? Nice. Had this. Let's see what else we got. Potentially, let's draw it further. See if we got anything here. Yeah, this is, look at this beautiful down-sloping trend line. It's breaking today, but not able to close above for me. If it does close above, I'm looking for a push up. And the next candle I want to see close above, and then that'll be super bullish for Omni. Be happy with that. June says, can you chart Coin, NRG, and Tesla? I'll do my best. We have about 10 minutes left. Coinbase, I'm bearish on Coinbase, breaking this upsloping trend line as I charted here. Retrace to it, and I always say you can enter on a break or a retrace. You'd be in the money around 6%. My target is this gap fill down here around 10% lower, around $335. NRG, I've charted this before. For me, I'm looking at resistance, a double top up here around 654 on NRG. I'm going a little quicker just because we're running shorter on time. As far as Tesla is concerned, Tesla's trading in this beautiful wedge, and I'm impartial as to which way it's going to go. I'm going to wait for a break above. I can go long, or I can wait for a retrace. Same thing down here. I can short here or short on a retrace to this. I actually wrote an article on this, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. I wrote it in our technical analysis feed. Yep. All righty then. Drenica says, how do you keep your day trading stocks separate from your swing trade? Do your day trades average to lower your long? No, I use a different account for day trading and swing trading, Drenica, for that exact reason. Okay, Monko says, hi Lon, please check Morph USD Morph USDT. Morpho. Let's see your chart, Mankel. I took that as long. I haven't taken profit. What do you suggest is going down? Consider. All right, take a look. Looks like you vomited on your on your keyboard there. So you're currently long. It looks like. For me, yeah, this, what you want to be careful of is this trend line, right? If this trend line breaks, this thing is coming lower, right? You could see a bounce, but that could make the formation of a massive head and shoulders pattern, right? With the measured move, let's say it completes this. Of course, it's not even made that shoulder yet, so no reason to panic yet, but could fall about 40% if that measured move was correct. Paula says, I learned that users have had some issues with Bluefin. Have they improved their services? I haven't had any issues with Bluefin, and I trade on it all the time. Neither have we here at Verified Investing. But I know I talk to their developer and their team all the time, so they're constantly improving their company. Do you prefer trading Silverview futures or SLV? SLV. I like the ETFs. I don't trade futures that much, to be honest. Ed says, thank you so much for your insight on APLD. Of course, Ed, that all makes sense. Thank you. I, too, will see what direction things go tomorrow for earnings. Yep. And come back and ask me about APLD afterwards. Keaton says, is futures trading recommended for intermediate trading experience? I think, well, here's the thing. We're going to start a show really soon where we're going to trade futures every single day. It's going to be a free futures trading room early in the morning, and I think it's going to be led by Maggie. So you can go ahead and try it there and check it out. You just have to wake up a little earlier, but you can try it out and see how it goes. Of course, add. Tony says, can you short other stocks like NVIDIA by adding the S to the end of the ticker? Some of them, like TSLS, is a great way to short Tesla. But, Tony, here's what I would recommend. If you want to short whatever stock, you just type it in. Just look at Google and type in, for example, you want to short Tesla, just type in Palantir inverse ETF. Right? You just type this in, and then you can, in Google, not in TradingView, just like whatever ticker, right? And see if there are any reverse ETFs for that available to you. Mar says, hey, Lawton, greetings from EU. What's up, Mar? What's your opinion about Solana? Do you have any spotting chances there? Up or down? Putting me on the spot, black or red? I think this is going down. Likely coming down. Had a potential head and shoulders pattern, right? Kind of a bad shoulder, and my drawing might be the only thing on this entire planet that's worse than that shoulder. However, it's still valid despite how ugly it looks, right? Just call it like it is. See this measured move for you, about 5 minutes left on the clock. You'd be likely looking at a move down 18%. Keaton says IVF levels for swing trades, please. Swing ad, please. In vitro fertility, very small company. Very, very, very small company. I have no ads for this. I have nothing, to be honest. It's just made new lows. It's having a reverse stock split. I don't know, man. To be honest, this is kind of a tough situation. Maybe $1.50 I'd add. Psychological number. That's all I have, to be honest. I apologize. That's all I have. Amit says, what percentage of the time does price retrace on a break of a trend line? I would say maybe 55, 60% of the time. Marcus says, is there a national chain that you recommend for taxes for traders? I get this question all the time. I'm not a big tax guy, to be honest, but I use TurboTax, and they make it pretty easy. All right, guys, I'm going to be live for 3 more minutes if you have any final questions for me. Marcus says, do you know of a broker that does platinum futures? I don't really trade futures that much, but I think Thinkorswim should be good. All right. Nathan says, what's going on with Ethereum? I don't really trade futures that much, to be honest. Had this inverse head and shoulders, measured move up. Here could be breaking this kind of uptrend that it's going. I need to see more price action, but I believe that look at this. You could potentially be making a head and shoulders pattern. It wouldn't be quite large, but it just depends. We got to see how price action goes. I think Bitcoin's falling, but I think I'm more bullish on Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin in general. And because look, you're still pretty far down from the highs, right? 23%, and Bitcoin is like at its highs. So I'm more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin at this point in time. Amit says, just wanted to thank you for your time and service. And you're so funny in the live day trading room. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Derek says, account 75K, choice between equity, swing trading 3 months, or day trading room 1 month. A day trading room, 100%. 100%, Derek. Day trading room. Marcus says, please look at Celsius. All right, guys, I have a minute left, and you're throwing all your questions in right now. This happens every single time. Come on, guys. That's fine. It's fine. I'll try and answer your questions. I think for me, resistance on Celsius is going to be up here around 49.60. You have a beautiful gap fill there. And you have an additional one around $58.90. So for me, I was a buyer here at $36. Resistance 4% higher, and then 24% higher after that. Oh my God, you guys, a million questions. I'm going to try to answer this really quick. SUI, I think it should bounce off of this downsloping trend line. I had this pre-drawn already. You see it retraced and bounced. This is what I'm talking about. Break above, retrace. This is the place to go long. CNC levels to buy after the massive drop. I'm not interested in CNC, but here are my levels. You can pause or screenshot 25 and 2368 are my levels. Clinton says PDD bull flag. Potentially, but this is kind of steep. This is really steep, and it has come and filled that gap fill. So we'll see. They also have earnings in 34 days. Sarah says, thanks, Lon. How do I know which inverse head and shoulders are valid on the USD? There are so many possible invert head and shoulders with measured moves. It's hard to tell when there are multiple on there. Yeah, there's tons. But that one is technically valid. Yep. That one that you just sent is valid. I like that one. But the measured move shouldn't be terribly different and terribly far apart. All right. Did I answer everyone's questions? I don't know. Anyways, it's 1:16. My brain is shutting off. I have to go in the live trading room in 14 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining, and thank you so much for asking questions, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I would just ask you guys to give this video a like, share it, share this show if you enjoyed it, and give us a subscription on YouTube on Verified Investing so you can see more cool exclusive content. Again, my name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. If you have any additional questions that I didn't get to, feel free to send them to me on Twitter at Lawton Investing. Just my name, Lawton, and then the word investing. Of course, if not, I'm going to be live tomorrow and the day after that. And the day after that. At the same time, at the same place. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to take a 13-minute break before I go live again in the trading room. Have a great day. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow.